Hello, beautiful beings, and welcome to another energy update. Just breathing. So, what do I want to talk about this time? Well, we've got the full moon in Cancer, Yeah, full moon in Cancer. Let's welcome this Luna, this powerful Luna. Because in Cancer, she's at home, she's in her haven. Because Cancer represents the lunar principle of the low tides and the high tides. And this is what we're going to tap into, low tides and high tides, as in our emotions. Because Cancer is the queen of feelings. And the full moon now on the 17th and 18th, this whole portal that is open already, because the moon has already entered Capricorn yesterday, is going to illuminate aspects of our lives where we need nourishment, where we have needs that need to be met by ourselves or by us taking emotional responsibility to express those needs to others. So Cancer is the great mother, but it's also our inner emotional world, our inner child, and our most basic needs. It's the base that needs to be nurtured so that we can have, we can give from a full cup, basically. We can enter this world from a place of feeling nurtured. So first of all, I invite you to either check your chart if you know a little bit about astrology. If not, please feel free to send me a message. Depending on where your moon sits in your chart, it can give you a lot of insight of what your most basic needs are and what that inner child needs, what that base needs, so that you feel nourished and supported in life. Yeah, so this is going to be highlighted. The great mother wants to express herself through us, either the great mother or the inner child, if we have not allowed ourselves to step into our vulnerability, because that's also what Cancer is. If you look at Cancer as the crab, not the crab, the crab, it has a very hard shell, but it has a it's very soft on the inside. So this can also show us where we have hardened and where we have built an armor around us for our emotions to not be expressed, to not being seen as weak. And sometimes this archetype of the great mother has found a way to bypass her own needs and enter a space of overgiving. Instead of giving herself, she overgives to others. So this is also a little bit of a shadow that we can maybe observe, maybe that plays out in our own lives where we overgive a lot. I definitely can see myself there, that I tend to give when I need to be given the most, either by myself or, for example, receiving a touch from others. And then instead I bypass this and start to give touch to others. So there is a little bit of a shadow there, and we can connect ourselves with that and explore that around this full moon portal. And what Cancer also brings up is everything that has to do with feeling home, feeling at home somewhere, because it is the nest. With it being the great mother, it's a very feminine archetype. It also represents the womb. And the womb is being mirrored in the nests that we build for ourselves, where we live. So for example, if you live in a house, in a space where you do not feel safe, or something's there where you feel that this place doesn't nurture me, this place doesn't give me what I really need for my base to be nurtured, then this is a time for us to maybe reassess and maybe feel into if you might even need to relocate ourselves or find that base for ourselves, which can also be tricky because sometimes also something that I notice in myself, I relocate, I move around, I change apartments or countries or whatever to find that home, when actually my inner world needs more attention, the home inside. Because if you feel at home in yourself, then the search for the home on the outside is not as important anymore, or the outside magically starts to align with the nurtured inside, and you feel all of a sudden this home is there. Yeah, so maybe you want to check in with yourself where you are in this process, and also, maybe you start to feel an urge of clearing out your space, letting go of stuff. Maybe it's messy where you live and you start to feel like, I wanna, it's a bit like a wound cleansing, no? Where you let go of everything that feels it drains you more than it nourishes you. Yeah, so maybe bringing in some order and buying yourself some flowers or some incense, rearranging your altar, everything that it needs for you to feel safe to express those high tides and low tides. Because our inner child, we as human beings, we come into this world with two basic needs. And those two basic needs are the need for attachment and the need for authenticity. This is something that Gabor Mate has, I saw it in one of his videos, and ever since I saw it, I can really bring it back to, this as essence, I would say. So what we learn is, as a child, very often, is that expressing us in our authenticity, our emotions in how they come, that's the ocean, that's the Cancer, that's our waters. They are lunar, they are cyclical, they are not linear. And when we start to express them, and we sometimes receive reactions where we are either shamed for them or basically do not feel safe to express them, we might have learned that our attachment, which is the most basic need as an infant and as an inner child, the attachment to our caretakers, because we can't survive without them. We literally can't survive without them. So if we see that this attachment is being threatened by us expressing ourselves authentically, then we start to build up core beliefs around it is not safe to express myself, it is not safe to feel my emotions, it is not safe to to connect to the feminine principle, to the cycle, to being, it also connects with that inner wound of being too much, taking too much space for expressing your needs, expressing your emotions. So this is a great illumination of all of that inside of us, and especially collectively, because the Cancer is the Great Mother, it is the feminine principle, and we are being shown now how we have not implemented that into the systems that we have built, into the lives that we have built. And with everything crumbling now, the goddess, the mother, is coming back, she's rising. And we are now tapping into emotional maturity, mature mater. Mater is Latin for mother. So this is huge. This is very, very potent. So I invite you to connect to, those questions that revolve around, do I feel safe in my own nest? And if not, what creates threat? And does this threat also come from core beliefs that revolve around expressing myself is dangerous? It can threaten safety. It can threaten everything that gives me safety in life. Yes, and at the same time, we have the Sun sitting in Capricorn in her polarity, in Cancer's polarity. And Capricorn has to do with support. It's the earth that can hold that emotion as a container, that can provide that safety and stability to express ourselves. It's the soft belly and the strong spine being the Capricorn that just shows up with focus. And the Cancer is the ocean that flows around it and that can be held by it. Another potent transit that also plays into that is that the Sun is now has merged with Pluto in a conjunction, an aspect that is going to, or that is already, I can already feel that. I can already feel the death and become that Pluto brings into this divine play, with Pluto being the one that invites our egos to die, or it does not invite the ego. It can force the ego to die in a way, especially if there's resistance. But Sun Pluto conjunction basically is the death of personas, the death of identifications around the principle of Capricorn, which is the builder. So we now are invited to let go of what we have built, either on the inside when it comes to core beliefs and everything that has given us stability, but that does not nurture us anymore, or reflect on a collective level that we are invited to let go of what we have built and accomplished as humanity so far, because it does not provide us with safety, stability, and nurture us anymore. So there's definitely an aspect of transformation and metamorphosis in combination with the full moon right now. And in general, Pluto in Capricorn is a whole other chapter that I can speak hours and hours about. But for now, I would like to leave it at that and just invite you to let everything that I've just shared land in your body. Maybe you want to comment on that and express how that lands and what it sparks for you. And a little astrological tip for you. If you are familiar with your birth chart, remind yourself of where your moon sits in your chart, the sign and the house and the aspects that come with it, because the archetype where it sits. For example, my moon sits in Pisces, and the 8th, between the 8th and the 9th house. This shows you what your most basic needs are. And for me, for example, my most basic needs revolve around connecting to the ethereal world, meditation, having spaces of stillness and remembrance, and also with my tendencies of being an empath, feeling it all, feeling the people around me, and can't differentiate sometimes if someone's feelings and emotions are mine or not, and just being highly sensitive around energies. One of my most basic needs is to find a space where I can connect to myself again and keep my channels clean and really nurture my base and come from a place of clear and focus channels. So but maybe for you it's a moon in the earth element, where you need a certain level of you need sensuality, you need putting your fingers in the soil. And if your moon sits in an air element, maybe it's very important for you to have a space where you can be curious and learn and exchange information and communicate. And if your moon sits in fire, maybe you have a strong need to express yourself creatively. So there's a lot there. And I'm about to create a masterclass for elemental wisdom, so we can all tap into our own elemental, how do you say? In German we say it Verteilung, but what energy types we are basically, and how we can connect to certain elements if we feel like we have difficulties connecting with that, and there are blockages in our fire, in our anger, or when we connect to the waters, which is Cancer right now. So there's a lot coming through me, and I'm feeling excited for this new year and everything that wants to be birthed. That being said, sending you full moon blessings. What we feel, we heal, and what we resist persists. And this is basically what Luna is speaking about and gifting us with, that wisdom. Much love to everyone. Thank you for tuning in.